Hi ladies, Jaki Sabourin here, CEO of Engaged at Any Age and your executive love coach, and I created a training for you about how to detach from a relationship when you're dating. And I know that this is so hard to do, to move on, to let go. It's probably one of the hardest things that we do as humans, to learn to let go. And so I really wanted to help you with this. So I created this training to give you 3 secrets to quickly detach when dating. And so I just want you to recognize you right now. And I know that some of you, if you're in a relationship and you're thinking about, moving on, it would be good if you start to pinpoint why you're still attached to this guy in the first place. It's really important that you come to terms with and be emotionally honest with yourself about why you're still together. And so you want to ask yourself things like, are you happy with your partner? Or are you settling? And you're staying with this person because maybe you're afraid to be single. You're afraid to be alone. You don't really want to leave and go out back into the dating world. And so that's why you're staying. And another thing is, in all honesty, sometimes I don't want you to throw in the towel, okay? Sometimes you can work through things, and the relationship may have enough, the qualities that you need, that you just need to work through it. Maybe you haven't had the skills and tools to do that, to stay in a relationship, and so you get triggered and you want to break up. But I really want you to reach deeper, get the support you need, and figure out a way to work through your problems, because here's the thing, ladies, all relationships have problems, okay? Problems are a fact of life. Life is a series of self-help obstacles, and it's our job to get better at overcoming the obstacles. So you're always going to have obstacles. You're the one who needs to skill up in this area, because basically it's just solving problems. Relationships all have problems, and you just have to get better at solving them. And that's exactly what I'm teaching in my Bridge to Love program, how to solve your relationship problems very quickly so that you can move on in dating and in relationships. And you probably heard me talk about it, but I've opened the doors to my Bridge to Love program, so make sure you check out the links in the box below before you click off the page, because I really want to share that with you, because they teach these advanced adult life skills that you need to have, not only in dating, but especially in relationships, because you're going to have problems and you need to know how to solve them. And that's one of the biggest things, and the hallmark of my work is helping you to skill up, emotionally speaking, to be a highly functional, emotionally mature woman. And that's the skill set that I teach in my Bridge to Love membership group. So check that out. It's a really low price point. I've made it affordable for everyone because I want to introduce you to the work. It's content rich. You have so much support. I have an incredible team of love coaches that are waiting to answer your questions 24/7 in our private Facebook group. So please take a look at that, and I think that you're going to be really excited about getting some coaching from me so I can help you with this. And detaching from a relationship is a really, really hard thing to do. So let's jump into the first secret that I want to share with you. So the secret number 1 to detach when you're in a relationship is you need to recognize you have to take back your power. Detachment allows you to take back your power, okay? Pain that you're going to experience is short-lived once you decide to detach and move on. And so it's going to give you your power back, but it's going to be a little bit painful, because anytime you remove that connection with a man, it's going to trigger a little pain in you, trigger some fears, some worries, some anxiety possibly. And here's why. Because when you're in a relationship, you do create a cord that goes from you to the man that you're with. And so you're connected energetically. When you go to sever that cord's kind of like flailing about out there, and it's looking to connect to something. And it causes you pain because you're leaking energy. You're leaking energy. Just imagine that the cord coming out of your heart, and you're leaking energy out to that cord. So it's always going to be looking, unconsciously, you're going to be looking to plug into something. But what you really need to do is to plug in to yourself. You got to take the cord that's coming out of your heart that you sever from this relationship, and you need to plug it into your belly button. Okay, just visualize that cord coming down and plugging into yourself. because that's what you need to do. That's the only way that you can have a healthy detachment, so that you can give yourself what you need so that you can process the detachment in a healthy way and you can fill your own cup up from within. And I want you to know that a lot of the pain that you experience when you detach from a relationship isn't really from detaching, because you've already made up your mind, especially if you're the one who initiates it. But maybe he initiates it. Regardless, the pain that you will experience is not from the detachment, it's from the resistance. Resistance creates the pain. The resistance to letting go is what causes the suffering, because sometimes, we resist it because we are afraid that we're not going to meet anybody else. Resistance to that is resisting the unknown, essentially. We don't really know what's going to happen. And so that's why our mind wants to hold on to people, and we overstay in relationships because we're more comfortable in the known. And even if you're not happy in the relationship, at least you're comfortable because you know what to expect. You're comfortable in your uncomfortableness, but that's no way to live your life. And so when you go to detach, resistance comes up because there's those fears of, like, what if I don't meet anybody else? Or what if this is the best there is for me? And all these doubts start to surface, and that's where the resistance come in. So you go to do something, you hit this invisible wall of limiting beliefs, and you tap out on that and you can't get past it. And so just be prepared for that. Knowledge is power. If you know that there's going to be a natural amount of resistance, then embrace it. Just go, wow, what am I feeling? I'm feeling resistance right now. There's a lot of fear coming up for me. So just notice that resistance causes the suffering. So the second secret is, I want you to grieve your loss. You have to allow yourself to grieve the loss that you've experienced. It's real, and it creates things are going to surface. Things are going to surface inside for you. You're going to have memories. You're going to regurgitate a few things. You're going to rehash a few things in your mind. It's going to feel uncomfortable. It's going to cause you a little bit of pain. And beginnings are happy and endings are sad. It's just a part of life that when something ends, it's normal to feel sad about it, regardless of the circumstances, whether you initiated it or not. So you just need to remember that you have to grieve the lost, and it's a grieving cycle, right? It's normal to go through a cycle of grief. So I want you to just give yourself permission right now to go ahead and grieve the loss. And remember, it's really important that grieving is a process, but it needs to come full circle. You can't just go on indefinitely grieving. That's putting your life on hold. You're going totally unconscious. And sometimes we use that grief as an excuse to not live our life, to not move forward. And it really hurts other people in that process. So I want you to really think of your feelings like food. When you go through a loss, you have to ingest. You ingest the loss. You have to digest. You have to process what that meant for you. And then you have to eliminate. Just like food, you have to eliminate. What happens when you don't eliminate a steak after you've eaten it? It becomes toxic, right? That's what feelings that are unprocessed and released happen. They create toxicity inside of you that makes you sick. That's what dis-ease is. It's disease. And so you want to make sure you ingest, digest, and eliminate your painful loss feelings so that you can move on. And if you don't, you're going to start thinking about your feelings instead of feeling your feelings and moving on. You're going to be thinking about them. It's going to get stuck in your thinking mind. And remember, ladies, when we're thinking, we're attracting, we're creating. We're always creating whether we're conscious or not. So if you're thinking about this loss, but you're not feeling releasing it, you're creating more of what you don't like. You're essentially saying, bring me more loss. Bring me more of what I don't want, because you're spending so much time thinking about it. And that's why it's important to really understand that feelings are like food. We have to ingest, digest, and eliminate so that we can move on. Okay? Now, my final secret, and make sure you stay to the very end so I can share my free gift with you, is this is a big one too, and it's really hard to do, but I'm going to challenge you. If you want to move on and find your soulmate, you have to agree to no contact. No contact is so hard to do, but it's the only way to make a clean break. Yeah, clean break. And you have to understand that it's really important that you don't have any contact. So if you ever want to heal and move forward and smile again, you've got to make sure that you've closed all the doors to the past, because no matter how much you want your ex, or you might consider, oh, maybe I made a mistake, if you open that door again, you're starting the whole process over and you're just delaying the inevitable. A painful experience you're resisting going through because you're too afraid to be on your own, or you're too afraid that you won't meet anybody, or you just don't think you can live without them. And that's just codependency. And you don't want to be codependent. You want to be interdependent in your relationships. You want to be whole, not a half making a whole. And so this is just going to stall out your healing process, and I really don't recommend it. So you don't want to have your heart breaking over and over again, do you? Ask yourself that. It's worth it to make a clean break. So thank you for watching. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to my page so you never miss another episode. And also, please comment in my comment box below so that I can make training that are relevant to what you're going through. Now, my freebie is my soulmate assessment. Just go to soulmateiq.com and take my quick quiz. It's just a quiz, and it'll ask you a series of questions, and I'll send you your assessment. Basically, it's a frequency, it's a vibrating that you're vibrating at that I want to help you identify whether you're a leader, maybe you're in your masculine energy, or maybe you're overgiving, or maybe you are you're just too nice, and that could be a problem too because your heart's so big. Or maybe you're in victim mode, but I'm going to help you clarify what that is, send you your assessment along with a feminine exercise to help you switch further into alignment so you can fast track your ability to attract your soulmate. That's what I'm all about. I'm all about fast tracking, and I really believe it can happen. And not only do I believe it can happen, I've proven it can happen, because the women in my programs, they are fast trackers. They do their work, they release men quickly, they move on quickly, and they get into healthy relationships very, very quickly. So check out my testimonials on my JakiSabourin.com page if you want to read about them. And then check out that membership site that I shared with you in the beginning of the video, where there's a lot of testimonials on that page. And I also have them right here on YouTube. So I hope this training was helpful, and I just know that I'm sending you a lot of love if you're going through a detachment phase in a relationship. I know it's hard, but my heart goes out to you, and I'm here for you, okay? Just sending you lots of love today. Bye-bye.